Hello, my friends. Okay, so this is a little planetary weather update for July 12th through 18th, but really focusing on 12th, 13th, and 14th because there's something bigger kind of dominating the sky right now that is the centerpiece of the week. And this is for Capricorn rising or Capricorn sun, but I would say read for or listen for your rising sign. But you can do whatever you want. So Capricorn rising, so the situation right now in the sky is Mars Venus conjunction. What does that mean? Mars is the god of war, of strife, of separation, of will, of your get up and go, how you get things in the world, and Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, harmony, cohesion, things we find pleasurable, and possibly money. And them coming together is a beautiful synthesis of like masculine, feminine, of opposites, of your will and your desire, or like synthesis of will and values, a blending of the masculine, feminine, the yin yang, the healing of opposites, compromise, reconciliation, possibly forgiveness, and also I feel like taking the higher ground, taking the higher road, or being the bigger person, because it is in Leo just saying, you know, eventually, yes, it's about shining and being individual and playful and being outward and sort of just having your individuality shine, but it is also a time of like maybe being I don't know, I want to say benefactor, but because it's driven by the sun is constant warmth and it's constantly providing. So it's kind of like, how can we take the higher road here with this conjunction, this Mars, Venus, masculine, feminine, will, and, you know, values? How does this come together? And I feel that it's very important right now because we have had so much strife and discord, possibly, in the realm that Mars by himself just went through, which for you Capricorn risings would be 8th house. Mars through the 8th house, kicking up and agitating things to do with spouse's money, other people's money owed to you from taxes, whatever. Also debts that might be owed to you or you might owe someone. That could not, they don't have to deal with finances, maybe just something like that you owe someone. So that area has been kicked up with like a lot of aggression and a lot of you know, acrimony and you know, again hitting off the Saturn Uranus square that we've all been living with this year and into next year. So what does that mean? Saturn is kind of locking down your second house of finances, your second house of assets, and being more serious there, while Uranus is shaking up and changing things in your 5th house of pleasure, romance, maybe things you do in the world for pleasure, sex, creativity, possibly children. That whole thing will continue to be made serious and responsible and kind of heavy, and also the Uranus will continue shaking things up. And Mars coming through with that 8th house of other people's money and debts has been stressful probably since early June, since like 4th of July weekend, since the last part of June, the last part of June, the first part of July, 4th of July weekend. And we had a little bit of Venus coming through on her own saying, okay, I will heal this wound that Mars has left. But it was not fully enough because Venus had her own thing to deal with then. It was kind of like overwhelming. Now, Venus and Mars coming together, making this cohesive point of compromise, of forgiveness, of reconciliation, of action, and then attaining the desire, coming together. This is very much better. It's a big blessing. It's obvious, like it's happening right there in the 8th house where all of this other stuff has happened. So this is a good thing. And we could leave it at that and just leave it there. But I'm going to go a little further because I feel that it's something bigger for everyone, because I feel like everyone's kind of on a bridge right now from like one level to the next, one life to the next. We don't know how to get to this or that we, we're stuck on this bridge. And I feel that this Mars Venus is kind of coming together as a turning point in the narrative, the key that starts turning the narrative to the new. And why do I say that? Because the last eclipse we had in Gemini was June 10th. So things around June 9th, 10th, 11th might be coming up right now, because they have for me anyways, because I watch these things. But the reason is because the Venus-Mars conjunction is happening at a degree, 19 degrees, I think it's 43 minutes Leo, and the last eclipse we had in Gemini, the new moon solar eclipse, happened at 19 degrees, like 45 minutes Gemini. So that means these points are exactly sextile, and they're helping each other kind of inadvertently. Like, oh, wow, that really helped, and it really made it better, and I didn't even think it could be better, but now it is. That is important, and that's only going to continue as we go to August 10th, 11th, when the sun comes through this Venus-Mars point to kind of sharpen whatever is happening now. So anything that's happening right now to heal this wound that has been happening in the 8th house of other people's money, of debts owed, whatever, with the 2nd house of your money, your assets, and the 5th house of pleasure, recreation, children, creativity, all of that is kind of really being helped right now by this Mars-Venus, and it's getting kind of an assist from whatever might have occurred June 10th, 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and then we'll probably get another sharpened point there at August 9th, 10th, 11th. It's like a key that doesn't quite work because it's blunt, and you take it back to the locksmith and they sharpen it for real, and you're like, okay, now it's perfect. Now it goes in and out of the lock. That's kind of what this Venus-Mars is showing up for me as, that it will be a key to turn the narrative to the next level, because the last eclipse that we had in Gemini was one of the last big eclipses we're going to have on that Gemini-Sagittarius axis, which we've been having all year, for the last year. So that means that the next eclipses coming through are going to be on Taurus, and sorry if you can't hear because of this air conditioning and everything, the Taurus and Scorpio. The Taurus and Scorpio eclipses are coming through. Why does that matter? Because they will be kicking up all of the dust that's settled and struggling with that 2nd house, 5th house. 2nd house of finances, 5th house of recreation, sex, romance, creativity, children. Though that will be continuously happening. Now we're going to have eclipses coming through, and eclipses change the narrative. Eclipses are like you're on a river, and then you're like, now I'm on another river because it just opened up into this other thing. That is what is happening now. So we are kind of closing out the Gemini Sagittarius, and we're opening up the Scorpio Taurus eclipse season coming up in November, around November 18th. That's going to start happening, eclipses in Taurus. This is very important for everyone, and I really think that this Venus-Mars conjunction in Leo is a key turning point to help us bridge from that old into the new. This Gemini Sagittarius, which was probably it was your 12th and 6th. So that's the place of psyche, where we kind of warehouse things that we don't want to deal with because they're too deep to deal with. And then the place of health, healing, people who may work under you, pets, and also hard work or service that you do. That's not exactly your job. It's just service that you do, hard work. So those are kind of fading. And now the new world is opening up a 5th house to pleasure, romance, things we do that are recreational, creativity and children, and then the 11th house of friends, groups, alliances, things you belong to, people that you can look to and say, oh, I'm part of them. That's the new part that's opening up, coming up soon. I'm losing the light here, so I'm going to wrap it up here, and that is what I wanted to say. So we're going to find some new answers, hopefully, going forward. Yeah, there's a huge thunderstorm coming. And I will be back next week. Thanks.